back in the Obama administration, but we were both lawyers and Texans in similar long-held Republican seats in Congress, and we both had the calling in 2018 as first-time candidates, as Texas Democrats, that it was time for us to serve our fellow Texans and our fellow Americans at this pivotal moment in our history. Since we've been in Congress, we've been through so much together. We have served in unprecedented times, which makes the work as meaningful and as important as it can be. From coming in as part of that class of 2018 that gave Democrats the majority in the House, that returned Nancy Pelosi to the Speaker's chair and elected Colin Allred as our class president, to coming back in 2020, holding on to these seats when the Republicans threw everything they had at us, helping elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and keeping Speaker Pelosi in the chair to lead the most productive Congress in the last century. That's what happens when Democrats are in charge. Colin and I were both in the Capitol on January 6th. I was up in the House gallery, Colin was down on the House floor. And as the warnings came in that a mob was inside the Capitol, as we heard beating on the doors and breaking glass, I watched as Colin took off his suit jacket, ready to fight anyone who came through that door. We saw that day and in the days since the very real threats to our democracy that I know are on the minds of everyone here. And I am here to tell you that there is no one more committed to protecting our democracy, our freedoms, our rights, our progress, and our country than Colin Allred. Now, he knows that to do that, we have to elect Democrats. And he knows how to do that too. He knows how to win. After all, he's done it before, in the toughest of races. So in a bit of a tribute to the future Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, I thought I'd run through the alphabet and describe Colin in 26 words. But there were too many words to describe Colin, so I narrowed it down to three. 3 words that I think describe Colin in my experience, and 3 words that I want you to remember from now to November. Leader, fighter, winner. I can tell you from experience that Colin is someone who people in Congress and outside of Congress both like and respect, who works effectively for Texans and all Americans, who always has our backs, and who never stops fighting for us. Don't you agree with me that that's something we Texans deserve in our senator? Are you ready to hear from him? Well, my fellow Texans, I am filled with pride and joy to welcome to the stage my friend, our Democratic nominee, and our next senator from the great state of Texas, Colin Allred.
All right. Okay, I got to put the microphone up a little bit. Buenas noches. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. I want to thank my dear friend. And when we say this sometimes in Congress, we don't mean it, but I do. My dear, dear friend, Lizzie Fletcher. She makes us all so proud. Give her a hand, please. And I want to thank Governor Gretchen Whitmer for joining us tonight. She knows how to win tough fights. And I really want to thank my colleague and friend, your Congresswoman, Veronica Escobar, your State Senator, Cesar Blanco, for hosting us in their beautiful city, and to Beto O'Rourke, for his years of service. Now, we're good Democrats here, and we care about working folks, so I want to thank the staff here at the El Paso Convention Center for all of their hard work in making this weekend possible. It's with great honor and pride that on behalf of myself, my wife Allie, my two perfect, beautiful boys, Jordan and Cameron, my mom Judith, my aunt Tess, and my uncle Jim, and the generations of Texans that I'm descended from, that included slaves in East Texas, and a former governor, and James V. Allred, the 33rd governor of Texas. It's my honor to be your nominee for the United States Senate. I know that a story like mine is only possible in Texas, a state that was once a country, a state that was once in the grips of Jim Crow and that produced the president who ended it, a state that produced the Speaker of the House that ushered in the New Deal, and the first black congresswoman from the South, Barbara Jordan. A state that Americans of every race, creed, faith, background, and identity call home. Only in this great state could the child of a single mother who taught in Texas public schools for 27 years, and we don't pay our teachers enough. Only in this great state could someone who attended good public schools in Dallas, but who struggled at times growing up, but who always had a community to fall back on. Only in this state would I be where I am today. That's why I know that we're not who Ted Cruz says we are. Because if we were, and I really mean this, my story would not have been possible. It's because of the people of this state, the teachers and coaches who went above and beyond for me in Dallas, the opportunity that I was given at Baylor and Waco. It's because of the community that my mom and my aunt grew up in Brownsville, where my grandfather was a customs officer after serving the Navy in World War II. It's because of the folks who helped me make it in the NFL and go to law school and become a voting rights attorney. The folks, many of you in this room, who helped me beat a 22-year incumbent to get to Congress in 2018. It's because of this great state and the people in it that I stand before you now as our nominee. And with God's grace and with your help, I will become the first African American to ever represent our great state in the United States Senate. Now listen, we all know who Ted Cruz is. He's the guy that you hope you don't get steak next to at a barbecue. When I was in the NFL, we had a word for guys like Ted. We called them me guys. Me guys are always looking out for themselves first. On the football field, we learn to work together, put the team above self, to share credit. But when there's a me guy on the team, it makes everybody worse. They care more about their own media attention than helping the team win. Unfortunately, Washington, D.C. is full of me guys. But no one, and I know this from my 6 years now in Congress, no one is more self-serving, more disconnected from Texans' needs than Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is the ultimate me guy. This is a guy who spends hundreds of hours podcasting because he thinks the sound of his own voice is more important than doing the work for Texas families. When we voted to bring high-tech manufacturing jobs back home, Ted said no. Now, billions of dollars are coming to our state to create thousands of Texas jobs, and there's Ted, trying to take credit. Textbook me guy behavior. When we voted to lower the cost of prescription drugs for seniors and cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month, there was Ted, voting no. You think the $500,000 he's taken from Big Pharma had anything to do with that? It's hard enough to retire with dignity in this country, but if Ted Cruz gets his way, he'll raise the retirement age and cut Social Security and Medicare. It'll be a nightmare for our seniors who've paid into these programs all their lives. And when the lights went out in the energy capital of the world, only a me guy would think it's okay to fly down to the Ritz-Carlton in Cancun. That's not my Texas. In my Texas, we believe that we is more powerful than me. It's woven through all of our founding documents. Jefferson wrote, "We hold these truths to be self-evident." The Constitution begins, "We the people," in order to form a more perfect union. Lincoln reminded us that we are not enemies. After the ravages of the Civil War, that we are not enemies, but friends. Faith leaders and domestic workers and students braved fire hoses and dogs to tell the world, "We shall overcome." And more recently, millions have been inspired to say, "Yes, we can. Si se puede." And we don't have to be embarrassed by our senator. We can get a new one. And that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. It's about the women in the panhandle standing up to billionaires who want to ban travel on local roads to access an abortion. And they're winning, by the way. It's about the Border Patrol agents I met here in El Paso who confided in me that they're worried about the morale and mental health within their ranks because of the challenges of combating complex fentanyl trafficking, as well as record surges of migrants, all while managing the vital cross-border trade with Mexico. It's about the Republican in Waco who told me that she'd never supported a Democrat before, but she's supporting me because she's worried about our democracy. It's about the mom in Dallas, who I think about every single day, who despite battling terminal cancer, became an advocate for protecting other Texans' health care, while Ted Cruz was trying to take it away. It's about the grandmas I meet at church in Houston, who come up to me and they grab me by the hand. They tell me, "I'm praying for you. We need you." It's about the gun owners who I meet on the campaign trail who know about our proud heritage of gun ownership in this state, but also think that shouldn't prevent us from taking action to save lives and keep our kids safe. It's about the working mom in Arlington who I met who told me she's paying $5,000 a month for her arthritis medication, and she needs relief now. And it's about the mother of two who has a much wanted and much prayed for third pregnancy, and who gets the news that we all hope we don't get. The pregnancy is not viable. The baby's not going to make it. And she now has to make one of the most heartbreaking decisions that any person will ever be faced with. And because of extremists like Ted Cruz, she can't get the care that she needs close to home. So she has to flee our state under threat of criminal prosecution. That's not my Texas. In my Texas, we believe in freedom. We believe in the freedom to make your own health care decisions, including access to an abortion. We believe in the fundamental promise that if you work hard and play by the rules, you should be able to take care of your family, buy a home, join a union, send your kids off to school, and retire with dignity. In my Texas, we don't run to Cancun when the lights go out. We run to help our neighbors. In my Texas, we know that we can secure the border without resorting to cruel and dangerous stunts. And in my Texas, we know that I am my brother's keeper. I am my sister's keeper. If there's a Texan who doesn't have health insurance because our leaders have refused to expand Medicaid, if there's a child who's sitting in one of our public schools that's underfunded who can't reach her potential, if someone's working full-time, but minimum wage isn't enough for them to take care of their family, that hurts all of us as Texans. I've got two boys. They're 3 and 5. They're fifth-generation Texans. And I will never stop fighting for their future and for the Texas that I know we can be. Now, y'all know, I went to Baylor, I lived in Waco, I played in the NFL, where folks from all different backgrounds have to come together to work towards a common goal. I know who we are as Texans. I know we have political differences, but we have more that unites us as Texans than divides us. And that's something that Ted Cruz will never understand. I've been named the most bipartisan member of the entire Texas congressional delegation. I'm proud of that. I've worked hard at it. I don't pursue bipartisanship, though, just for the sake of it. I do it because it's how you get things done. That's what Texans expect from their leaders, that you'll roll up your sleeves and get to work, just like they do every single day. And in this election, we have a choice between the ultimate me guy and somebody who will work for all 30 million of us. And together, we can restore freedom to Texas women and families. We can show the country and the world how to secure our border consistent with our values. We can show everyone that y'all really does mean all. And if they want to come for our freedoms, then they can come and take it. This November, we're going to shock the world. We're going to beat Ted Cruz. We're going to elect leaders like Michelle Vallejo to Congress. We're going to flip seats in the State House and the Senate, electing new leaders up and down the ballot, but we can't do it without you. So go to colinallred.com and get involved. Thank you so much. Let's do it, Texas.